So I recently saw the Hellboy that came out this year. I don't really like it. I prefer the Hellboy that came out back in 2004, I should say, sorry, with Ron Perlman, and Selma Blair. I really liked that movie, and I thought it was visually very good. I actually liked the villain. I thought the villain did a good job, and I liked the characters a little bit better. This movie is weird to me. Like, okay, so this movie stars David Harbour, who plays a sheriff in Stranger Things as Hellboy, and then the villain is Mila Jovovich, or Jonovich, I should say, sorry, who plays Queen Nimu, and I know her from the Resident Evil movies as playing Alice. This movie also has Ian McShane, Professor Broom. He plays, I believe, Odin in American Gods. And there's a couple other people in this movie that, I've seen their faces before, but I'm not really familiar with what they've done or their other projects. So this movie is pretty cut and dry. Hellboy needs to save the world from Queen Nimu because she wants to end humanity, and that's really it. She wants to end humanity and have the demons or whatever take over, and Hellboy has to stop her. But in between that, there are a lot of sequences where David Harbour plays a very strange Hellboy. I'm not familiar with this type of Hellboy. It's a very weird. I guess they were trying to go for like a more comedic type Hellboy, because Ron Perlman, even though there were kind of funny lines in the first Hellboy, he played it more of a serious role. David Harbour kind of plays Hellboy, and it's not his fault. I mean, he's just he's just doing what he's being told. But this Hellboy is very goofy, and very whiny, and I don't like it at all. Actually, I really didn't like this version of Hellboy at all. Like, I just didn't like this Hellboy. I liked Ron Perlman's Hellboy a lot better. I'll just be honest. The visuals, they were pretty good. I mean, they weren't the best visuals, but they definitely weren't the worst. The one visual where he has this flaming sword and the crown, and his horns are fully formed. That's a really cool visual, and it's shown kind of like for like a minute or two in the movie, and then that's pretty much it. Kind of like the first Hellboy, so I think definitely the visuals are, I wouldn't even say they were better. They were just okay. I still think the visuals from the first Hellboy, the one in 2004, holds up very well. The story, I feel, of the Hellboy from 2004 too is a lot better. The villain to me is a lot better. Pretty much everything in the 2004 edition is better than this one. And it kind of makes me think, why did they even make this one? I mean, I don't know. Like, this movie is very weird. It's very bloody, very gory. And yet, they try to make Hellboy's character extremely kind of like childish in a way, and immature, very immature. And to the point where it's just not enjoyable to me. He's actually more annoying to me than he is. Usually you're supposed to root for the hero, but in this case, I was just more like, man, would you just shut up? He's just very annoying to me. But I don't want to, I don't like to spoil things. But the story is very straightforward. I really don't think there's anything in here to salvage. I'm looking at IMDb and they have it as a 5.2. And I would kind of agree with that score. I usually don't agree with IMDb scores. But I kind of agree with them. It's not horrible, but it's not great either. And I'm one of those people. I don't like to compare like sequels or remakes to the original. But in this case, I have to admit, like, I really liked the Hellboy that came out in 2004 a lot better than this one. And it's just a character, it's just like the story, like I said before, just the villain, like Mila Jovovich, I always mispronounce her name, but Queen Nemo or whatever, like, she's just a very generic villain. There's nothing different about her. There's nothing different about her plan. We don't really get in depth as to why she's doing what she's doing, except for the fact that they show, like, humans treat demons like crap. And, this is kind of like their retribution. Hey, we're going to take over because the humans have been bad to us. And, okay, I get it, but that's been done so many times before. It's nothing different. Her design, like, there's some cool scenes of her. There's some visuals that are cool. But her as a villain is not very appealing, or you don't really sympathize with her. You don't really empathize. You don't really feel much of anything for her. At least I didn't. Maybe other people did, but I felt nothing. Like, I was just kind of like, whatever. I did like Daniel Day Kim plays a character in here that I actually did like. He was one of probably my favorite characters in this whole movie. I really can't think of any other character that I actually liked. I didn't even particularly like Ian McShane's character in this movie. In the first Hellboy, not first, but the one in 2004, I really liked the father-son dynamic of Hellboy and the Professor. In this one, I kind of felt both of them were very annoying and very childish, and I don't know. I just didn't. I'm going to stop talking about this movie. If you want to see this movie, check it out. I wouldn't recommend it. If you liked the Hellboy that came out in 2004, I think you'll probably like that one better than this one, but then again, it's up, it's everyone has a different opinion on stuff. But in my opinion, there was really no reason to remake this movie. They should have just let Guillermo del Toro, sorry, butchered his first name. They should just made him do another movie to complete the trilogy instead of doing whatever this is. But yeah, that's just my opinion on this movie. Thanks again for listening.